talk about is the motif of blindness. And the motif of blindness has influenced a lot of literature from ancient to modern times. And the woman in black is like a thing I created, and it's taken a strong lead in the research. Okay, so what is sight? Sight is a vision and it is a sense. And it's the predominant sense in humans. And you use sight to see body language and emotions of people to communicate with them. It can limit understandings of a person for their internal characteristic. And a lot of people say seeing is believing, so if you don't see it, you don't believe it. And then the opposite of sight is blindness. So blindness causes all four senses to increase and enhance, and then it can create a fifth sense, which is insight. And insight is to gain an accurate and deep intuitive understanding of a person or a thing. And it can emphasize the moral of the story in literature, and it'll let you choose for a character if it's happiness or death or evil or good, but the character chooses itself. And then early in the 1900s, Max Carados theorized that blind humans can see in the fourth dimension, and a lot of blind private detectives persuaded and said the theory was true, like David Gaunt, Thornley Colton, and Captain Duncan McLean. So my thesis is that the motif of blindness started with Tiresias, and then now it's gone through generations and is continuing for literature and films. And the influence of this disability in literature leaves a moral impact in most of the stories, and we will see how the motif of blindness has adjusted to modern times and how it has not adjusted and kept its form. So for my first, I'm doing a plot analysis between Oedipus the King, which was written in 430 BC, and Kung Fu Panda 2 in 2011. So first, Oedipus the King is living the life, and he has his wife and his kids, and he is the king of Thebes after the untimely death of Laius. And after solving the riddle, Oedipus wants to find the murderer of Laius. He gets frustrated about Laius' murder because no one will tell him, and he has to figure out the hints and clues, and it's just not coming up. And then for Kung Fu Panda, he's living his dream as the Furious Five and learning how to do karate, or Kung Fu, sorry. And he's chosen as the Dragon Warrior, which is the chosen one in the story. He gets interrupted by a villain called Shen, who's a peacock. And on the side note, Shen is the one who destroyed the pandas in China, and Po can't remember that, but he does in the end. So Po begins to receive horrible nightmares about the past and how his father and mother died. And he asks his father, who is a goose that adopted him, where he came from, but he doesn't want to tell him. So he, Oedipus, he's trying to figure out a lot of stuff, and to Po, he's trying to learn inner peace, but he gets interrupted by Shen's army a lot, so he can't get into the zone. And it's the same with Oedipus and how Tiresias stops him and won't tell him a lot. It wasn't done, but it's okay. So the shaman sheep tells him to let it flow, and Po earns inner peace to see the truth. And it's similar to Oedipus, who in the end blinds his eyes, and then he sees all of the truth that's been around him, and he finally intakes it. There's a little clip. Yeah. The second one's a quiz, how much inner peace do you have? But we have enough time. releasing of the mind and taking.
Awesome! How did you do that?
Inner peace.
Inner peace. That's cool. Inner peace of what?
It is the next phase of your training. Every master must find his path to inner peace. Some choose to meditate for 50 years in a cave just like this, without the slightest taste of food or water. Or some find it through pain and suffering, as I did. Oh, the day you were chosen as Dragon Warrior was the worst day of my life. By far, nothing else came close. It was the worst, most painful, mind-destroying, horrible moment
Okay.
I have ever experienced.
Inner peace. At that time, just like Oedipus learned, he goes through that pain.
Within me, I found inner peace and was able to harness the flow of the universe.
So that's it? I just need inner peace?
It's good. So, on to the next. Yeah, go ahead. Now we're on to our character analysis, and I'm going to do Jocasta from Oedipus the King and Theodore, who's the main character in Wieland of 1798 novel was written. And Wieland is basically, it's from the perspective of Theodore's sister, and he gets hypnotized by voices and then murders his whole family. And then it's kind of similar to Oedipus the King. So first of all, Jocasta is a mother and a wife, and she's the victim of a prophecy of how her son will cause incest with her. She marries her son like the prophecy said and is blinded by love. And she slows down Oedipus from gaining clues for the truth because she's kind of criticizing it. And she has faith in the gods but distrust in the prophecies. There's a scene where she's like praying to the gods and she's trying to get rid of all the good stuff, all the bad stuff, sorry. And she commits suicide because she's a lover and a mother to Oedipus. And when she finds the truth, she believes that she's the first one to find it, so she wants to hide it from everybody, so she kills herself. And Sophocles uses Jocasta to criticize the power of the oracles. And in Wieland, Theodore is a father and a husband, and he has 4 children. And he hears voices that hypnotize him, and he believes it's the gods' voices, and that's telling him to do stuff. And he takes after his father, who's came from Germany, and he's very religious and has a lot of morals. But at the same time, Theodore takes religion with science and literature, so he kind of criticizes religion as well. And then he takes over the country. He takes control of the family farm, just like Jocasta. Even though Oedipus takes the king of Thebes, she still is the queen, and people look up to her. He kills his whole family, and because of the voices, and then he commits suicide afterward, finding out what horrible, unlikely acts that she did. And the voices are kind of like fake prophecies in my mind, because it tells it. Well, there's a quote in the book that said that you're about to be in danger and you need to do this to save your life. So it's kind of similar to prophecy from Oedipus the King. My next character analysis is Tiresias from Oedipus the King and Billy from Slaughterhouse 5 that was written in 1969. Slaughterhouse 5 is about Billy, who is also the main character, and he goes through post-traumatic stress disorder. He was drafted into the war, and he had a lot of events go through, and then he comes back and he goes through a lot of other events. So first, Tiresias, he has magical powers from, we believe, received from Apollo, how he could read and tell others fortunes. And there's a lot of conspiracies that exist of how he lost his eyesight. One is that he saw Athena naked and Athena made him blind. There's another where he was telling Hera that women have less pleasure in love than men, and and then Hera takes away his eyesight, but then Zeus puts in insight for him. And another is revealing secrets of the gods, and then he got blinded by the gods. He has a lot of hardships that include customers don't believe what he's saying, and they're just oh, you're lying, I don't believe you. And then he witnesses a lot of tragedies or like mutilation and death of others' fortunes, and it's a lot to intake. He gets accused of treason by Oedipus, and that's the same as unconvinced customers. And Sophocles shows through Tiresias that individuals who cannot accept the ancient wisdom and intelligence of Tiresias will come to a tragic end, like Oedipus. For Billy, he believes he got abducted by aliens, and throughout the book, the alien abduction and what he talks about, how he got through, and all the details he has about the planet makes it true. Like, it makes it seem like he did get abducted, but we don't know for sure. And he believes that the abduction gave him magical powers to see the future of others and to see and to explain to other people, like other humans, that human suffering should go through. Like, everyone should have human sufferings. And the hardships for him include that he gets bullied by his daughter and his wife, and it's just very unlikely events that happen to him, and he doesn't choose anything. He doesn't choose to be at any of these events because he got drafted into the war, which he didn't want to go to. And then he saw a lot of things that he didn't want to see. And then he got married to a person he didn't want to be married to. And he has a daughter who bullies him, which is very bad. So going on to the next slide. So the next one is Oedipus and Jonas from The Giver, that was written in 1993. And The Giver is basically a utopian society, and it's called sameness, and it's like Jonas is the main character, and he just sees everything that other people don't see in society. So first, Oedipus is the son of Jocasta and Laius, if you don't know it. He came to Thebes to escape from the oracle that said that he would kill his father and marry his mom. He's mostly a perfect man, but he consists of hamartia, which is a flaw in himself that creates his downfall. He becomes Thebes after murdering his father, but he doesn't know that. And there's two prophecies about him. One is that Laius will die in the hands of his own son, which is Oedipus, and he will marry his mother, Jocasta, to cause incest. And he's really known for his clear-sightedness, since he solved the riddle of Sphinx for his insight, but then he can't see his own fate, which is ironic. And he produces judgmental errors by accusing Creon and Tiresias. For Jonas the Giver, he's kind of like the opposite of Oedipus. He loves to learn new things, and he sees things that others don't see. And then Jonas wants to prove that his changing morals are right and not of sameness. And for the Giver, he does not really care about it, but after a year of training, he sees the world in a different way, and he wants everybody to see it that way. And this is a video.
Blindness, otherwise known as the motif, from ancient to modern. Most of us have been assassinated, and it's me and my partner. It's time to reveal the secret that we have. Does the motif of blindness begin? First, the WIB has been cracking codes to get the first clue, which is to be blind. You don't have eyes. Eyes! So we got rid of the continents with eyes, leaving Europe, and then we rid of the countries in Europe with the letter I. Now, sight is another word for vision.